10,000 fearless on the move. Let's go.
Deep in the delta where the willows grow, in the soil stained by the blood of my ancestors. Punch bowl voices call out to my soul for justice. The wicked will reap what they've sown. Spirit of Aziz is back on the rise. Soldiers in the delta kept it alive. Time to stand up, take our place in the sun. Understand the time and what must be done.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. This is it. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip.
Gotta make a move and take control. Have something we can call our own. So shine your light, help the people see that now is the time for us to be free. And if you waiting on the pie in the sky, you better wake up fast. They told you a lie, cause big fields await the wide awake man. Elijah's got the massive
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip. Injustice, we've had enough. All of our divisions we're breaking up. Destiny has been calling us. The spirit of the Most High is guiding us.
See, the time is now. What you waiting on? Quit shooting your brothers. Put your gun down. Come on. They got a cage waiting for you if you keep that up. Early graves coming to you. From that, can't raise you up. Now, Sister Ida B and Fannie Lou, check them out and you'll know what to do. But if you really want your enemy to be alarmed, read the final call. Follow Farrakhan.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip. 10K fearless on the move. 10K fearless on the move. 10K fearless on the move. In Mississippi. Mississippi. 10,000 fearless on the move.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you, and welcome to another edition of the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. I am your brother, friend, and host, Abdul Shaheed Muhammad, and riding alongside of me is my brother and friend. Are you there, Brother Rahman?
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum, beloved.
Wa alaikum salam, brother. Glad to have you on board, brother. I know you was traveling last week, but so happy that you're back here with us, my brother. Brothers and sisters, please allow us to begin in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. We bear witness to the oneness of God. We bear witness to the oneness of his prophets. We bear witness to the oneness of the scriptures that were revealed through them to the whole of humanity. As spiritually mature people, we don't argue over the names of God. We call him Allah, but we know and understand that God makes himself known according to the language and culture of the people amongst whom he raises his prophets and messengers and warners. So we honor and respect those names like Jehovah, Jah, and Yahweh. We understand, spiritually mature people, we don't argue. If you say 5 and 2 is 7, and I say 6 and 1 is 7, if we understand mathematics, we should not have an argument. Please allow us to greet you with the greeting words of peace, of Assalamu alaikum. And Brother Rahman, man, look, let's.
Salam.
Yes, sir, brother. We're going to dive right in, man. I know you got those axioms locked and loaded and ready to roll out. I see our people are logging on, man. They're
Yes,
coming
sir.
on. I see my brother C-Mo. He waiting in the wings. Brother C-Mo, just stand by. We got you on mute over there. We're going to have a special program. Well, all of our programs are special. But before you get into them axioms, brothers, let me let the people know what we're discussing tonight if they have not seen the flyer. Tonight, our topic tonight is prisons, the re-enslavement of black people. This episode, we're going to bring attention to, first of all, the new jail proposal that's being proposed to be built in Lee County, Mississippi. That's down there in Tupelo. We have our brother Charles Moore, the president of the Lee County NAACP. He's going to give us some insight on that. I've done my own little research and pulled a couple of news articles. Just get a little insight on, what's going on, because we know how they can do in local government. So I talked with the brother, and he expressed some concerns. And also after that, and we invite our brother Charles to stay on for the second half of the program, because we're going to be discussing the state of Alabama's use of prison inmates for what some are calling modern-day slaves through a work release program that some see as a convict leasing system. So that's going to be the second part. But Brother Rockman, you ready to bring us a couple of those axioms, whatever two of your choosing, my brother?
Yes, sir, brother. An axiom is a statement or a position which is regarded as being established, accepted, or self-evident true to serve as a premise or a starting point for further reason. An argument, that is that self-evidence of what we are dealing with.
That's right.
We have to look at the facts, what has been presented in our face, in our daily lives, and what we are facing daily, that we had to come to the reality of the situation that we are in. Look at the facts, which they had established, that it really is against us while we are participating in these activities unknowingly, unconsciously, unwisely, don't know that it's leading to what we're hearing now. And like the topic is, the prison pipeline.
Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir. Man, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan has said to us in one of the definitions of a slave he gave, Brother Rahman, and you might have it in front of you as well, brother, where
Yes, sir.
he gives a definition. If you have it, could you share it with the audience, brother? Where it talks about a slave is one whose power and authority, because, we kind of suffer under the illusion that we are actually free. No, slavery is a very sophisticated, it's very sophisticated nowadays. But for the sake of time, I'll go ahead and say it, brother. Honorable Louis Farrakhan says to us, a slave is one whose power and authority is ruled over by another and whose sphere of freedom is limited according to the wishes of his master. End quote. Now, I'm lifting that one because we're going to be talking about actually modern day slavery. Slavery never ended. The 13th Amendment, all of the things that talks about, servitude, it's still going on in 2024, brothers and sisters. We don't have to believe it. They don't believe it. That don't mean it's not happening. But after tonight, God willing, we're going to show you and prove to you and demonstrate to you behavior that you thought was a relic of the past is still alive and prospering in 2024 at a time that you would think should be a post-slavery era. No. In the southern states, down in the Delta, in your Alabamas and your Mississippis and your Louisianas, and these rural communities, you would be amazed at what is happening to black folk down in those areas. So we're going to break away, and we're going to get to the announcements. We got to get our announcements in, of course. So if you all would just stand by, and we'll be right back. after we make some commercial announcements. Y'all hang on just a minute. We got to support the people that supports us. We'll be right back.
Shake's famous seasonings, flavors for every occasion. Want to add a touch of authentic flavor to any dish? Searching for a unique range of seasonings that always put great taste on the menu? Welcome to Shake's famous seasonings. Whether you're a professional chef, passionate home cook, or a complete beginner in the kitchen, taste and flavor should always be on the menu. It's why Master Chef Rashid Muhammad has combined more than 30 years in the kitchen with a passion for mouth-watering flavors to create a range of seasonings unlike any other. Always gluten-free, so you can enjoy great taste exactly how nature intended. Versatile flavors that work with fresh fish, chicken, or vegetables from the very first bite. Authentic cooking experience that adds something special to any occasion. Versatile seasonings that are perfect for baking, frying, grilling, and plenty of tasting. Ready for real, authentic flavor? When it's time to see just how delicious seasoned foods can be, why wait? With the click of a button, you can have 30 years of passion for food sent direct to your door. Just what you need to add flavors to every occasion and create meals that you'll always want to eat twice.
Place your order at sfseasonings.com. That's sfseasonings.com.
The Urban Indulgence Bath and Body Boutique. At Urban Indulgence, we pride ourselves on offering quality, effective skincare. Handcrafted with plant-based, skin-loving ingredients, our soaps and body butters will give you luxurious lather and ultimate moisture. Experience the Urban Indulgence at 3314 Poplar Avenue in Memphis, 3 blocks west of Poplar Plaza, or shop with us online at theurbanindulgence.com. theurbanindulgence.com.
Worldwide, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download the Final Call Radio app and take us everywhere. On your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also log on to finalcall.com and click the Listen Live button or finalcallradio.com. Final Call Radio, the official voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam.
Taste the difference. Taste supreme. Enjoy our 100% natural Supreme Spring Water with natural calcium and magnesium, but zero fluoride and zero chloride. Our bottles are BPA free. Order yours today. Call us at 800-573-8033. That's 800-573-8033. Or visit us online at www.supremespringwater.com. Live supreme. Be supreme. Drink supreme. Supreme Spring Water. 801 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30314. What's your source for truth in news reports?
Justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Where do you turn for non-corporate driven news that's fair and balanced? Subscribe to the Final Call News, your #1 free and independent news source that delivers hard-hitting national and international news coverage of today's political, economic, and social issues. To subscribe to local home delivery, call us at area code 662-252-8999. That's 662-252-8999. Visit our website at www.finalcall.com.
10,000 fearless on the move.
And we are back live at the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. Again, I am your host, Abdul Shaheed Muhammad, along with my co-host, Brother Rahman Muhammad, that's holding it down on his side of the aisle. Brothers and sisters, make sure you support those who support us. Make sure. Now, the Urban Indulgence Bath and Body Boutique now has a second location. But before I get to them, I got to make sure that you subscribe to that mighty Final Call newspaper. Marshall County and Holly Springs coming soon. We're going to make it easier for you to subscribe to home delivery. We'll be coming to your doorstep, making a request that you subscribe to us locally, and we'll put it right on your doorstep every week. I'm telling you, we're going to be coming by the residences throughout Marshall County and Holly Springs, and we're going to be soliciting you to subscribe to our weekly Final Call newspaper. I'm telling you, it's an action-oriented readership. We're not corporate-driven, so we're not beholden to corporate interests. We can tell the truth as it is seen, okay? Also, now, getting back to the Urban Indulgence Bath and Body Boutique, they have a second location. It's going to be inside the Painted Tree Boutiques here in Memphis. Make sure you go by 8045 Giacosa Plaza. That's out there in the Wolf Chase Galleria area. So go by there and get you some of that good old Urban Indulgence bath and body products. You would be so glad that you did, okay? Make sure you get you some Supreme Spring Water. And, of course, make sure that you support Shake's Famous Seasonings. I have some up there in my cabinet. I use it on my fish and my chicken. I'm telling you, they're very good. So we're at that point in the program where we need to bring to you our farm report. And we're going to get to our brother William. Brother William, assalamu alaikum.
Yes, sir. Walaikum salam, sir.
Praise be to Allah, brother. What's on tap for us tonight?
Yes, sir. We're just trying to get this local project up and running. Matter of fact, I just put something out on the thread. We're going to be back at it again this Sunday at our local agriculture project here in Holly Springs. And I'm looking for who want to participate, to volunteer to help us finish preparing the ground to put some seeds down. Fortunately, it did rain, so but I hope we don't get too much rain. And we ready to start putting some seeds down as soon as we get through tilling some of the other parts of the area that we're in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, brother. I know last Sunday, man, I had left my stuff at home. I was in Walmart, me and Brother Najee trying to grab some boots and, just something to throw on to go out there. And next thing you know, brother, it was thundering and lightning. And then we got back to the mosque, where lightning struck a pole right down the street. We was like, okay, Allah, we see. So we going to stand down. We didn't have no choice. Okay, but what else we got going on the state and national level, brother? Anything to report there?
On the state level, Brother Booster, he slowed down some on, he's still playing some things out there, but it's on a request base only for his customers that usually, was actually put in the order. But I'm getting ready to take up some of that area that he's doing, probably about 400 to 500 rows. Inshallah, I'll be planting some broccoli, some cauliflower, some rutabaga, some butternut squash, some green beans, and carrots. It's a couple other things I can't remember right now.
Oh, some carrots. Okay then, brother. Some butternut squash and some carrots, huh? And them two go good together. Throw some raisins over them bad boys. Oh, man. Hey, brother, so on the national level, what we got? Any report from there? Or did I just miss that?
Dr. Ridgely, matter of fact, he mentioned about growing some broccoli, some rutabaga, I think he said cabbage, and there was one more. I can't remember what it was. And there was also a report, something we dealt with that Tuesday night on the conference call about somebody has put out a false advertisement of Muhammad Farm staple goods on another website.
Wow.
We know who it is. We're not going to mention the name right now, but that is going to be addressed. So anybody who's looking to get staple goods from Muhammad Farms, be sure in this area, be sure to look for the official Nation of Islam staple goods program.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, brother, hey, look, man. Well, somebody's playing with fire. We'll just leave it right there, brother. So, inshallah, we'll get that rectified. As small as we are, man. People, if we're so irrelevant and whatnot, why keep poking at us? You know what I mean? If we're ineffective as people that like to say that the minister asks questions like, is Minister Farrakhan still relevant? Is the truth still relevant? I would think so. Is right guidance still relevant? I would think so. So what do you mean? What kind of question is that? You know? But hey, we're not gonna get into that. We're not gonna go back and forth. We're just gonna keep our heads down and keep working. So, Brother William, brother, we are always thankful for what you do. Let's give him a round of applause, brother. Thank you. And inshallah, we will be talking again next week. All right, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, beloved. Assalamu alaikum.
Islam, sir.
That was our brother William Muhammad with the Farm Report. Brother Rockman, it is about that time. It is 7:21. We're going to start a little early. Brother Seymour is already on. Man, I got y'all muted. Brother Rockman, I'm sorry, brother. I had you muted the whole time, Brother Rock.
Yes.
No wonder you so quiet over there. Let me shut up for a minute, brother. I'm going to let you talk a minute. Now, I said, I got the brother muted out. Let me unmute Brother Seymour. I'm going to let you and bring Brother Charles Moore on. Brother Charles, you there?
Yes, sir, I am here.
Brother Rockman, take it away, man. Take it away, brother.
Yes, sir. Brother Charles, how you doing, beloved?
Great, sir, Brother Rockman. Great to hear from you.
Yes, sir. Good to hear from you, brother. We are very honored, beloved, to have you on this show. And, brother, we have met a few times. We have talked a few times and discussed some of the issues that we did. I think last time we were dealing with, we were honoring Dr. Martin Luther King, in Tupelo, Mississippi, the meeting. And then, brother, it was a great honor. We talked and the discussion went real good. And, the fight continued and this must go on.
Yes, sir.
And we are very honored to have you, brother. So we want you to introduce yourself to our audience, brother, and tell them who you are.
My name is Charles Moore. I'm a husband of 27 years, one woman, three beautiful children, two adult children, and one almost a teenager that we adopted. So we have a ministry here that we do here in Tupelo, Mississippi, Life Cultures Empowerment Center. We're located at 630 A&D Street here in Tupelo, Mississippi, and is to all people. I'm also the second term as the Lee County branch of the NAACP. I'm the president of this branch, this local branch. I'm also on the Mississippi State Conference of the NAACP legal redress team. I'm one of the officers there. So, and I'm also been in business, self-employed for 29 years now. So we're still moving and advancing there and training other entrepreneurs as well as we move forward.
Great. Wonderful. Shoot, Brother Rockman, you on it, brother. Praise be to Allah. That's brother. Right. We said that at the same time. Brother, tonight, as Brother Rockman introduced you, tonight, my brother, of course, you were made aware, and we talked about this beforehand. We want to have a discussion, brother, on what's happening in Lee County with regard to the proposal to build a new jail. And I did a little research and, put together a couple of questions that I thought I would throw at you, brother. But if you would, Brother Charles, give us a thumbnail sketch of what's happening with this proposal and at what stage are they in the actual signing of the document. I know contracts are associated with this. Who's going to do it? Who's going to be the project manager? What firms? Where are they in the process, brother?
Well, they're very strategic in what they're doing. I think the project was finished. I think they knew what they wanted. They always knew what they wanted. 4 years ago, couple of years ago, when we came up against this same thing, and now that the sheriff been reelected, they're slowly giving the public steps of it. But me being in business, as long as I've been in business as a contractor, I know you can't build something that large without already having plans.
So they knew what they were going to do before they even let the public in on what was already in progress.
Yes, sir. So they've strategically done it, and they're stringing the public along as if they're keeping the public, as if we're going along and seeing everything in real time, but we're not seeing everything in real time. And if you're a contractor, you're not seeing everything in real time with how big this project is. You know that they know what they want in it, because you cannot make plans for something that you don't know what you want.
That's right. Not something that big.
that's going to cost over $100 million. You already know where you're going to put in this thing.
That's right.
Now, brother, I did a little digging, and I found an article from the Washington Examiner way back in May of 2013. And it was the Associated Press. They carried the story too out of Tupelo, Mississippi. And the story reads as follows. The title of the story, Cost of New Lee County Jail Estimated at $19 million. That was in 2013. So that's been what? A little over 11 years ago.
Uh-huh.
In the article, listen to what they say, brother. A new 600-bed jail probably will cost about $19 million, an architect told supervisors, meaning county supervisors in Lee County. Northwest Mississippi Daily Journal reports Mike LeBlanc of MWL Architects told the supervisors and Sheriff Jim Johnson at that time that the estimate includes site utilities and development buildings, furniture, architecture and engineering fees, and hiring a construction manager. Now, the company that they solicited back then, according to the article, was a company based in Lafayette, Louisiana. And they had built Alcorn counties, I should say. Why did I say university? Alcorn County's Justice Center and the Chickasaw County Regional Detention Center. So, and the board, they questioned the estimate at the time. Board President Bobby Smith. I don't know if he's still part of the Board of Supervisors. He's not.
No, sir.
But at that time, he questioned the cost. Now, what are your thoughts on it, brother? Now, I know that a significant amount of time has gone by, but I see that as a pretty big jump, brother, from $19 million 11 years ago to over $100 million now. What's your thoughts on that?
Are you referring to me, or are you referring to Brother Rock?
No,
Rockman?
to you.
Well, I think it's an egregious reach concerning where we are today, that those who have the pen can write anything on there, but yet pad the pocket with the pen. And they know many of the taxpayers are not coming out, and the taxpayers that do come out to address the issue, they're now trying to stream us along. And they've done this thing. I promise you, man, they've done their homework on it. They know how we fought them the last 2 years about it. They know what we did, how we stood up against them. So they've come back and redid this thing, and they've studied this thing and put different people in place so they could get done what they wanted to get done, because they knew. The main thing is that we have not been attentive enough to control anything. Mm-hmm. So therefore, we're always on the back end of it, or at the bottom trying to work our way up to grasp it, rather than standing on top or looking them right in the eye to reach and grab it to stop it. So because our people, our communities have not been at the cutting edge of this, neither have we progressed forward. And it is not strange, but the irony of the slave issue you were talking about, slaves were always content with just having a little more bread on their plate when they could have had the whole farm.
Yeah. See, they want a piece of the pie when they can get their own stove and own ingredients and bake their own pies, huh?
Yes, and that's what we are now, even here in Lee County, is that if people were really concerned and connected with each other, rather than being connected to those that they think is control of the pie, then we would have the pie and the control, because we have the numbers. But
Yes,
we're not in that fashion. So these numbers that they're coming up with now, and I've told you, being a contractor myself for a number of years, by the time they get through with this, if they gave you a number, add another 25% on it before they get through with it.
Ooh, wow.
So it'll be up to 135, 140 million before they get through with it.
Because I'm going to show you something in an article that suggests that in a minute. But Brother Rockman, I see you got a question for him, my brother. Hold on, make sure I unmuted Brother Rockman, because you know.
I think he's gone.
No, he's there. I see him there, and he's unmuted. Brother Rock. No, I see him there now.
He's not lit up. He was lit up on caller number 2.
Oh, man. Well, I see you on, he's on my dashboard there. He's coming back. He must have dropped off. But he's coming back. He ain't going nowhere, y'all. But it sounds like, brother, you know, there's some surreptitious
Yes, sir.
activity.
Can you
Yes,
hear me?
sir. Yes, sir. Got you, brother Rockman. I know you had a question for him, brother.
Yes, sir. Brother Charles, the
Yes, sir.
question I have is there any transparency to the community
Well, this is what I'm
concerning
saying.
the issues that are going on?
In other words, Brother Rockman, you're a farmer, right? You know
Yes,
what
sir.
season. You know what
I
season
help
to
my
plant the
brother out.
corn. You know what season to plant the
Yes,
greens. You
sir.
know what season to plant the cotton and the soybeans. You know what time of year you're supposed to plant it, and you know when you're supposed to harvest it. But for someone that doesn't know that, then if I told you, you told me
Mm-hmm.
to plant it in September, because you know in October, November, the weather's going to change and the climate's going to change, and that particular crop is not going to have the climate that it needs to produce. What they have told us is, because they know many people don't know, is that we're bringing transparency. And I told you, you're not being transparent when you have not told us. You told us that it's going to cost you 80 to
Mm-hmm.
$100 million, but you have not. You told me that you have no plans. So how do you know how much it's going to cost if you have no legitimate plans?
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So what you're
That's
saying
right.
is
Mm.
the
See,
contracts and the paperwork associated with the project has not been made available for review beyond the
There you
people
go.
that's in the room talking about it.
There you go. But so therefore, if you come up with a number, then you had to have come up with a material list to come up with that number, or
Wow.
idea of what you want to come up with
that's
that
right,
number.
brother. Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I mean, you can't just snatch a number out of thin air on no project that huge, and you dealing with local
That's right.
government funds.
You want a morgue, but you said, "No, we're not sure what it's going to look like." We know you wanted a morgue because you said it the last time. We know you wanted the justice system, the justice court, to be over there now, and municipal court to be over there now. But you've already got a justice court building that we built here probably about 12 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you got a municipal court building that's been down there. You remodel, you're spending money there. So what are we going to do with those other buildings that we spend millions of dollars on? So now, not only that, you want a 600-bed facility. And out of that 600-bed facility, part of that's going to be for mentally ill people to keep them separate. But you already understaffed and can't keep enough people there now for the 200 that you have.
Ooh.
The 200 people that you have here,
Wow.
you got 60 people over in another county, Itawamba County, that you're paying $40 a day to stay over there. But so now you don't have enough people here, even now in this smaller jail, but you want to build a larger facility. Therefore, you don't have the capacity or the capabilities of putting people there to man those mentally ill people to make sure they get their medicines. Those same police officers, where they suffered abuse because of their mental illness, will now be the same ones that'll have to help you there because you already outmanned now.
Lord.
Naji Lamar.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Lord.
So now,
Wow.
I mean, it's just not adding up. When the questions that we ask, you cannot provide legitimate answers to. Okay, so then the same sheriff that came on, that's there now, that's been in his third or fourth term. When the thing was built in 1997, he came on and worked as a deputy sheriff, but now he's later became sheriff after the current sheriff was murdered. He later, 3-4 years later, now he's been running the ship. While the ship was going down and crumbling, he was the sheriff. You guys were still giving him money for that facility, but you were not taking care of it, whether it be on his behest or the current administration of the last 4 terms.
Right.
So you're now telling us to give you more money to build a larger facility, and you have not been faithful with the smaller one.
Ooh. So you haven't been faithful over the little, but you're asking to be made master over much. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
That's very troubling to me.
Ain't that something, brother?
And so we understand in this facility, 350 of the beds would be allotted, 356 of the beds would be allotted for general population. And few beds would be allowed for mental illness. Another would be allowed for misdemeanors. And you have beds allotted for certain areas and state inmates And federal inmates that you don't want in that population would be for the other beds. So now you're bringing state and other inmates and federal inmates into that. We don't know where the money comes. We haven't seen the record. You said they're public, but when we ask and inquire of them, it takes so long to get them. And we know you have a certain time to give that information with the FOIA form, but you create other smoke screens.
Oh, man.
So now you've got saying, do we need a jail? Yes, the facility is messed up.
Right.
I've walked through the facility. But to the tune of 100 and upwards of $120 million.
Nah, brother. No, sir.
Now watch this. Now, not to mention, when I bring it to you, you're fighting so hard to get this prison. But if you would take 10 to 20% of that 150 million and allot it for the next 10 years in programs in this county alone, for the ages of 6 to the ages of 15, it will shut down your prison population.
That's what my next question is. Now, the attitude of most local governments, brothers, is those who are governing, your aldermen and your commissioners and your mayors and whatnot. Unfortunately, too many of them think that they can arrest their way out of the problems in the cities and the towns and whatnot, and the counties. But there are many police chiefs who will tell you straight up, we are not going to arrest our way out of this problem. We are not going to incarcerate the crime rate down. It's not going to happen. So what that translates into, what are you doing in the form of prevention? And in the form of, like you just alluded to, my brother, what amount of funds are being used on things like summer programs? Because during the summer months, I've been in law enforcement coming up on 31 years, brother. And we know like clockwork, as soon as school lets out here in Memphis and it gets warm and the first pair of shorts you see on the street, there's going to be a rash of crime because during the summer months, the children, the summer programs and things that were happening back in all of that is gone, And we know for a fact, when you if children are idle during those summer months, your car theft's going to go up. Your burglary is going to go up. Your shoplifting going to go up. Your assault and your domestic offenses are going to go up. All of those Part 1 crimes are going to increase because you have a population of juveniles. They're going to be out all night and they're going to be breaking into all kinds of stuff, brother, because they have nothing else to do. So what has anybody talked about? Have they even been willing to hear your side and those, I'm sure there's someone advocating with you for putting some of those funds towards what you just mentioned? Is that happening?
No. Now, this is what I told the sheriff, told him twice. He stopped me at another function and we was at a function, told me. I said, Sheriff Johnson, we need a facility. But to the tune of $120 million. He said, I know. If they took it several years ago, it'd have been $19 million.
Yep.
He said, but they waited, so the price has gone up. I said, it hadn't gone up that much. I
Not
said, but
that
understand
much.
what I'm saying. If you could advocate for another jail, then advocate for, if we're going to pay that $150 million, then take it up to $180 million and send $30 million back to programs, back to our community. Will you do that? Well, Charles, I said, no, don't overstep it. The conversation. I need you. I'm going to fight you all the way to the end of it. If you're not going to allot money and ask them for money, extra amount of millions of dollars to go back to our community, just a fraction of I need $25 million and be allotted in programs that I'll get the numbers and the data to prove that these programs work.
Wow.
And we'll do it over a 10-year basis. Your prison population and your recidivism will shut down. The property value will go up. The educational and the socioeconomic status will go up. The recidivism in the community crime will shut down, and the drug use and the teenage pregnancy will shut down. They'll reduce the numbers drastically. If you're not willing to go with me on that, I'm going to fight you to the end. Even if you do get it, I'll still be standing there fighting you on it.
Brother, continue to fight. And of course, as I've always said to you, this platform can be
Yes, sir.
your megaphone for Lee County. But look, brother, I know what you're saying is true, because in addition to being in law enforcement in the jail division, uniform patrol, and now as a sergeant and investigator of sex crimes, special victims unit, part of that. In addition to that, brother, for the Nation of Islam, I have been blessed in our ministry to be in the prison reform ministry. I've been going in and out of prisons, blessed to do that, brother, since 1994. So I know for a fact if men are given right information, and not only that, I've worked as a school resource officer prior to my promotion. And the school that I worked at, brother, when I got there, that school averaged 140 critical incidents. But the program that we use here in the Nation of Islam, unbeknown to them, I just took the principles. I didn't teach them Islam, for those that are listening. You taught my children that Muslim stuff? No, didn't do that. We took the principles of conflict resolution and we applied them. And I appealed to the principal, myself and another officer, instead of suspending students and sending them home, send them to us. I didn't have an office. I had a classroom. And in that classroom, we dealt with conflict resolution. Brother, God is my witness. After our first year, we went from 140 critical incidents in the school down to 40.
Wow.
And after the second year, we went from 40 to 16. So you can't tell me, brother, that if you don't, if you don't enact a we have the template, brother. Our conflict, this is what this podcast is moving towards. Well, I ain't gonna say moving towards. We have the template. It comes out from what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan asked us to do with the 10,000 fearless, going in our communities and getting between the gangs and the guns and stemming the tide of bloodshed. But a second part to that, it also deals with going amongst our youth and showing them how to resolve conflicts without it resulting in bloodshed and loss of life, and somebody goes to the cemetery and somebody, of course, goes to the prison. So it isn't a question as to, and I'm sure there are other programs out there. There are other brothers and sisters in what you're advocating, brother. I'm sure that there's something already there in Lee County, down there in Tupelo. There's a cadre of brothers and sisters that'll be more than happy. But, that's why I decided to do this this piece that what's going on in Alabama with what they are calling a new convict leasing system. I wanted to do it in conjunction with this because I suspect, brother, that that's part of the motivation for these bigger and better jails and prisons. But I got another question, brother. There were calls from the public to allow public meetings, or not public meetings, that's the next question. Now, let me ask that one. Were there any public meetings ever held on the project before they signed the contract? Or have they signed the contract yet?
The meetings they held were, they finally opened it up to the entire public. But other than that, they had their general meetings. Of course, they always have the meeting before the meeting, the real meeting.
Yeah.
Before they bring to their monthly meetings, they've already had their meetings, which is supposed to be illegal, but you can't prove that they've done it. But by the time they get in there and they've already voted the way they're going to vote, and they just come and exercise and execute it before the public. Mm-hmm. But yes, they've had meetings where we encourage them to open the website and the post to be more transparent. And one of the incoming supervisors, county supervisor, said that he was going to push for the website. He did push. He did what he said. He wanted to be open. In fact, he voted down on some things that they wanted to do with him being a Republican, but he said it wasn't fair. He said it was not being transparent to the people, and he wouldn't have a part of it. So they did open the website. Some of the stuff they didn't post on the website, they said they did. We proved that you didn't post it on the website. So, but you had went on with some stuff anyway, but you said you made it open to the public. Go to the website, it's not even there. So they were still doing underhanded things, and especially with the two guys, the county commissioner and the what's the other guy's name? He's over the Bale and Benson, and both those guys just swap positions. So they got the good old boy system in there. They brought another guy to stand right beside him to do one of the other's jobs, and he moved to another job to assure that they would get stuff done. And they're still not hiring anybody that looks like us. Everybody they got in there are Caucasian people. It's not about race, but it's about the quality of it and giving a chance to the community. And the community is not just white.
Right.
So
because
our community is made up of multinational people, but the only people that's running the show is the Europeans, the Caucasians.
To my understanding, Tupelo is only about 35 to 37% black.
Around 38% black, and they're close to 40%.
Right at 40%, 60% white. Yeah. That's why they feel that way, and that's why they behave that way, my brother. A brother told me, and I'll tell you his name. His name is Brother Conway Muhammad. Brother Conway told me when I first got to Holly Springs, he said, brother, Jackson may be the capital. He said, but the money is in Tupelo. And I took note of that when former President Trump came to Mississippi, he did not go to Jackson. He went to Tupelo. And I found that very, very interesting that he didn't go to Jackson, which is the state's capital, and it's predominantly black, of course, not just an observation for those who are sensitive, but he went to Tupelo. So I thought that was what you say about it, Brother Rockman. Am I accurate, sir?
Yes, sir, brother. You are accurate, sir. You own it, brother. Saeed.
Praise be to
brother.
Allah.
Just listen to the brother Charles and the things that we are dealing with and facing with, brother. It's very critical in this hour of need, and it's been critical. But the people have to be more aware of what we are facing, what we are dealing with. And brother, I take my hat off to my brother Charles, brother, for your fight, brother, and your discipline and your consistency.
Yes, we got to applaud that. And we want to encourage you to stay in the fight, Brother Charles, man, because soon as you told me about it, brothers, I said, I need to get him on because you're the watchman on the wall there. You're one of them, and I'm sure there are others. And we have to have watchmen in all of our communities down, particularly in these rural areas, Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana, brother, because they're still lynching us down here. Rasheem Carter just happened, the Goon Squad. Right. I mean, what if those brothers coward? I mean, you get shot in the mouth. It's easy. You can say what you would have done, but somebody that shot you in the mouth and almost killed you, for the most part, you probably, I got away with my life. I'm gonna just leave that alone, man, because they see there's a history of these folks not believing us. We're not getting backing, but those brothers stood up, and because they stood up, the Goon Squad got a measure of justice, and I emphasize a measure. It was historic what the brother Barnett and what brother Malik Zulu did down there. Man, you look, it needs to be highlighted because they made history. No law enforcement officer in Mississippi has ever been held accountable on that level for doing what they have always historically done. Recently, I had back on the program, well, not back, but we brought back to the remembrance of this audience what happened in 1993 with Brother Minister Charles Muhammad, then Brother Charles X. Quinn and his wife, Sister Esther. Their son, Andre Jones, was found hanging, in 1993, and God responded to that one. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan himself went down. But, brother, these kinds of things will continue to happen as long as we stay asleep, and nobody stands up with brothers like Brother Charles. So, brother, and will you finish with what you were saying, Brother Charles? Whatever you have in terms of information to share with this listening audience And the replay will be available. People that are not on, didn't get a chance to log on, they can go back and listen to what you have shared with us. Now, did they vote on the contract before the public hearings or afterwards? The contract for
They voted on who to have it. This is the thing problem that I have with that. These people that they voted on, which is Century Construction, is one of the main contributors to the city government.
Ooh, contributors, break that down for the audience.
In other words, when we have big events, there's an event they have downtown, and you will see all of Century Construction's logos around.
Their Porta Johns and stuff.
Even pays for the city to go on trips to their classes, like in Washington D.C. or go down to the coast for their trips on their classes sometimes for events. So now there's a conflict of interest. Not to mention that we have several people that work for the city that are in administrative positions, but yet their families are getting the contracts.
Ooh, brother, that's not. Ooh, man. See, brother.
So I don't care how strong the leader is. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is one of the greatest men that ever put a pair of shoes on.
Yes, sir.
But how he's measured is not because of what he says or does, but how many people that he can lead. The leader is only as great as his followers. If he has no followers, he's just someone sounding in the wind. But the moment they mount up and begin to follow the lead and the guidance of that particular leader, then that leader is exalted to a place by the eyes of the nations that this man is somebody.
Well, my dear brother, I must hasten to tell you, dear brother, the scripture says, if God be for me, who can be against me?
Yes, sir.
God is the majority. This is why he only raises one man. If you pay attention to scripture, God don't raise no crowd of prophets to go and speak to the wicked. He raises one, and that one go gets him some help. When he gives that one a helper, they travel in pairs. Like it was Moses and Aaron.
That's right.
It was Elijah and Elisha. So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is in the lineage, the spiritual lineage of those men. So even if, and I'm just saying this, and just go and study it, even if the minister lose all of his followers, he always consistently warns that he is backed by God. And if that is true, and I believe strongly that evidence is there that he is, then he is the majority,
That's right.
Doc. Because when he went to Mississippi in 1993, and what they did to those 48 souls that were found hanging in prisons in Jackson, Mississippi, and in Mississippi, he told the clergy there, you pray that God saves Mississippi. I'm going to pray that my God destroys Mississippi. And before he could leave the city, brother, it was raining and it flooded not just it flooded the Mississippi River, and it flooded it to the tune of $400+ billion in damage and losses of life. So go back and go and fact check me, those of you that are listening. So, dear brother, I just wanted to mention that. And I understand what you're saying. Yeah, that is true. But when it comes to a servant of God, and I know, well, what make you all think that he a servant of God? You don't have to believe it. They didn't believe Jesus was a servant of God when he walked among us. They didn't believe. There was always people who did not believe that the men of their day were raised by the Lord of the worlds. They didn't believe Lot was that. They didn't believe Abraham or any of the prophets found in the Old and New Testament. Everybody didn't agree with Jesus. So it's not strange that the same would happen in our lifetime. I just wanted to put that out there. But Brother Charles, man, look.
My statement is to how we don't support our leaders enough.
Exactly. I get what you're saying. That is true.
Yes, sir.
And that is true, brother. I was just pointing out there is a difference. But you are absolutely right, brother. See, brothers like yourself, when they see that nobody is supporting you, Brother Charles, they'll just ignore you. And like you said, you'll be like a reed blowing in the wind. So that's why, brother, I saw fit and I thought it's necessary to bring you to this platform so the people can hear you. And this ain't the last time, brother. As long as this fight is going on, please feel free, brother, to give me a call and just let me know. And if we deem it necessary, we'll bring you back to, or so that if you just have to do a 5 or 10 minute segment, brother, we'll bring you back to inform the people of the status of the movement of this construction project. That's really going to be, if you would be honest, it's going to be to the detriment of black people, because you don't build a hotel, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan say, if you don't expect occupancy. So if they can't manage the 200-something bed you say they have, and they're talking about 600, they got plans on hiring somebody, and they sure got plans on locking some folks up. And I'm going to let you all guess who that's going to be.
Well, we're going to try to push it to a vote. We're going to, once they come out with it, our plan is to try to push it to referendum that the community has to vote on it, rather than those 4. There's 5 of them there, but some of them said that one of them probably going to vote against it. But push it to a referendum that the entire county gets to vote whether they want that and how they want it to go, rather than them guys deciding it.
Yes, sir. Wow, that's really something. Well, brother, we're gonna transition. We're going to take a break. We're right at the top of the hour. And if you would, Brother Charles, I want you to stay on, brother, because I got a 14-minute segment that I want to play of what's happening in Alabama with regard to Alabama is the article states that they are making billions of dollars off of a work release program that is being called modern-day slavery. And I suspect that this is fixing to be copied or proposed in other counties and other states down there in the Delta. So, brother, if you would, man, just hold on just a minute, and we'll be right back. And right after these commercial messages, you all stand by. Stand by.
20+12. Chilling in the studio, taking over the world. Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. I come in peace, I don't mean you no harm. I say assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. I come in peace, I don't mean you no harm. I don't mean you no. See, I come in peace, and nobody I am hurting, except my enemies, but for my brothers I am working, cause the powers that...
Taste the difference. Taste Supreme. Enjoy our 100% natural Supreme spring water with natural calcium and magnesium, but 0 fluoride and 0 chloride. Our bottles are BPA free. Order yours today. Call us at 800-573-8033. That's 800-573-8033. Or visit us online at www.supremespringwater.com. Live supreme. Be supreme. Drink supreme. Supreme Spring Water. 801 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30314.
Shake's Famous Seasonings. Flavors for every occasion. Want to add a touch of authentic flavor to any dish? Searching for a unique range of seasonings that always put great taste on the menu? Welcome to Shake's Famous Seasonings. Whether you're a professional chef, passionate home cook, or a complete beginner in the kitchen, taste and flavor should always be on the menu. It's why Master Chef Rashid Muhammad has combined more than 30 years in the kitchen with a passion for mouth-watering flavors to create a range of seasonings unlike any other. Always gluten-free, so you can enjoy great taste exactly how nature intended. Versatile flavors that work with fresh fish, chicken, or vegetables from the very first bite. Authentic cooking experience that adds something special to any occasion. Versatile seasonings that are perfect for baking, frying, grilling, and plenty of tasting. Ready for real authentic flavor? When it's time to see just how delicious seasoned foods can be, why wait? With the click of a button, you can have 30 years of passion for food sent direct to your door. Just what you need to add flavors to every occasion and create meals that you'll always want to eat twice.
Place your order at sfseasonings.com. That's sfseasonings.com.
The Urban Indulgence Bath and Body Boutique. At Urban Indulgence, we pride ourselves on offering quality, effective skincare. Handcrafted with plant-based, skin-loving ingredients, our soaps and body butters will give you luxurious lather and ultimate moisture. Experience the Urban Indulgence at 3314 Poplar Avenue in Memphis, 3 blocks west of Poplar Plaza, or shop with us online at theurbanindulgence.com. theurbanindulgence.com.
What's your source for truth in news reports?
Justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Where do you turn for non-corporate driven news that's fair and balanced?
No shoot.
Subscribe to the Final Call News, your #1 free and independent news source that delivers hard-hitting national and international news coverage of today's political, economic, and social issues. To subscribe to local home delivery, call us at area code 662-252-8999. That's 662-252-8999. Visit our website at www.finalcall.com.
Worldwide, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download the Final Call radio app and take us everywhere. On your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also log on to finalcall.com and click the Listen Live button or finalcallradio.com. Final Call Radio, the official voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam.
10,000 fearless on the move.
Yes, indeed. We're back live here with the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. I'm your brother, your host, Abdul Shaheed Muhammad, along with my co-host, Brother Rahman Muhammad. We have with us tonight the president of the Lee County branch of the NAACP, brother who's working hard trying to shed light and sound the alarm for our people, just to be made aware of what the people that they have elected into office are doing, and they say they represent us. Now, I want to send some shout-outs. I don't want to ignore our audience. Glad to see you on, my brother Najee Muhammad, brother Najee X, but he's a Muhammad for sure. Sister Marissa, I see you. Sister Tony Burton, I haven't seen you before. Thank you for being on, ma'am. Brother William, of course, still on. And Brother Ricky, I see you, Brother Ricky, Sister Audrey, and we have several online. I can't see the names online. I see what's on the switchboard, and there's if I miss you and I don't call you, don't get mad now. There's a lot of names to call, so I'm not going to try to go through them all. But brothers and sisters, I just want to shout out a few of you to thank you for staying with us and for tuning in. I have an excerpt that I want to play. As I stated earlier, I wanted to do this interview with you, Brother Charles, in conjunction with what's going on in Alabama in 2024. So y'all take a listen at this. This is going to be about 14 minutes long, and we're going to take a few minutes to talk about it before we close the program. So y'all just stand by and listen.
Well, a lot of people are calling it modern slavery. Does that feel right?
I was just about to say, that's slavery. That's slavery. You took away the whips, but you put the paperwork. Took away the masters and you put them in uniform. Same difference, same difference.
It kind of appears that there is a coordinated system in order to protect the labor that's created by the prison system.
Walk into a McDonald's in Alabama, and the worker flipping your McDouble could be an incarcerated person.
It's a sad situation, a way they getting rich off us.
The Alabama Department of Corrections farms out incarcerated people to work at hundreds of private companies and government agencies across the state.
McDonald's, Burger King, Golden Corral, Wendy's. They got a Wendy's contract right now. State Trooper's office.
They'll send everybody everywhere.
They'll send you everywhere. Yes, the parole office.
And even though ADOC trusts these incarcerated people to leave prison every day and work alongside the general public, many of them are still denied the chance at real freedom.
I work for y'all, but when I come up for parole, you deny me. Why would you deny me? Because you're getting free service.
This is a story about corporations and the state of Alabama exploiting prison labor and the coercive policies they use to keep its citizens trapped in servitude.
It doesn't work. It's a terrible system.
If you're wondering how any of this is even legal, well, it might not be. That's what we went to Alabama to figure out.
So yeah, could you just describe like how long you worked here and?
I was here 18 months. I ran their kitchen by myself from 8 to 5 every Tuesday through Thursday.
Wow,
Yeah.
that sounds like hard work.
It was.
Elizabeth Thomas was in the Alabama Work Release Program for 5 of her 15 years in prison.
So they had a combination of incarcerated people and free world people?
Yes.
Did you feel like there was a difference how they treated?
Oh, most definitely. We work longer hours.
Make the work release work over or work extra days, don't want to give you off days. Like, no, I got to eat my health. I have to get rest. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a machine. But that's how they look at you, like.
This is Quincy Sanders. During his nearly 17 years in prison, he worked at several restaurants, a lumber yard, and McDonald's.
Like, working a real job and trying to be incarcerated is a very hard experience. You have to be mind strong, really.
Alabama has one of the most overcrowded and deadly prison systems in the United States. Even the Justice Department found conditions there to be unconstitutional. In 2023, almost a person a day died in Alabama prisons, which is almost 5 times the national average.
They might get beat to death. People beating folks with sticks. They breaking broomsticks, making little billy clubs. People in there stabbing each other. People in there doing drugs. People in there almost about to die. They're not giving you no nursing assistance. The nurse probably get there, you probably be dead.
But ADOC offers people in prison with nonviolent misdemeanor convictions a potentially life-saving deal. If they join the work release program, they get to live in special facilities that are generally much less dangerous than regular prisons. They spend their days working in the free world without prison supervision, and they can earn 72-hour passes to visit their families at home.
If you go out here and you do the right thing, you get to elevate, you get to grow, you get out of this facility. But what you didn't tell me is that you finna get all my money. That's what they didn't tell you.
The state takes a 40% cut of every incarcerated worker's wages off the top, before taxes, plus an additional $5 a day for van rides to and from work, $15 a month for laundry, and then any restitution and court fees.
If your check is $636, you might see two something out of that. And that's every 2 weeks. And you done work 80 hours and only seen $200. Like it makes you lose motivation, because money motivates people, especially working. So it kind of makes you lose motivation.
One estimate calculated that the state of Alabama enjoys a benefit of more than $450 million a year off of prison labor.
And it's slavery all the way around the board, just slavery.
And unlike free world workers, incarcerated workers can't just get a shift covered or quit.
ADOC has a list of rules that all incarcerated people are expected to abide by. Rules like don't have contraband, be in your bunk at the required time, and rules like don't refuse to work. That's a rule on the books.
CJ Sandley is one of the attorneys behind a recent lawsuit filed against ADOC.
The range of punishments folks can face if they get written up for refusing to work include solitary confinement, losing access to phones, tablets, visitation, access to their families and loved ones for like 30 days, 60 days, being required to do more work inside the prison walls for free, under threat of punishment.
I want to talk to my family. I want to be a part of my family, and you're telling me that if I don't go and do what you want me to do, at these jobs, work as hard as they want me to do. If they need me 7 days, you want me to go there 7 days. If they need me 80 hours, you want me to work 80 hours. If they want me to turn around and come back and do a double, you want me to get up and you want me to be available to do all this. But if I decide I'm tired, Lord forbid if we got sick.
I talked to Reginald Burrell, who was injured when an entertainment center fell on his head at the private furniture manufacturing company where he worked through ADOC. When he spoke up about it, he was fired.
And, I confronted the JPO about it, and they shipped me to Childersburg with extra duty, taking away my privileges, and I ended up in a landfill. I just got assaulted and mistreated at this job, and now I'm in a landfill working for free for a multi-million-dollar company.
One of the most valuable things in the system is whatever I can do to get out early. If a work stoppage to protect myself from being abused and to speak up for myself could subject me to sanctions, I don't have to say it, but you're going to follow whatever order you're given.
Chris England is a state representative in Alabama. He's leading the fight to reform the state's prison system.
It is a completely broken system. The folks in charge, the parole board, they don't use guidelines. There is no methodology applied to it.
Alabama has some of the lowest parole grant rates in the country.
And more than 90% of the time, hearing this answer.
Denied, 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 be denied. Parole will be denied.
If the parole board followed its own guidelines, it would grant parole in about 80% of cases. But instead, that number dropped to just 8% last year. And incarcerated people in the work release program don't fare much better.
I know that there are people at the Department of Corrections, they assess them, and then they say, you are not a threat. So much so that you can leave here and go work. Some people actually go home for 72 hours on a weekend and are told, we trust you to the point where you do whatever you got to do. We'll see you Monday morning, 8 o'clock. That same person goes before the parole board and they say, what you did 20 years ago is so bad we can't let you out. You're a threat to public safety, but make sure you're at work tomorrow morning.
A federal lawsuit claims that 235 people in the work release program were denied parole in fiscal year 2022.
So if the system is operating as designed, what is the point of the system?
It appears labor is.
One thing our lawsuit talks a lot about is that very clear lineage from slavery in the state to convict leasing and to what we've got now. And the punishment by the Department of Corrections is what our clients are challenging, because that's what amounts to involuntary servitude and slavery by the state.
After the Civil War, the 13th Amendment abolished slavery with a key caveat. Forced labor was still allowed for people convicted of a crime. And the states adopted a copycat of this federal amendment. But here's the thing. In 2022, Alabamians made a historic vote to remove this exception.
The state has a new constitution. Voters overwhelmingly agreed to make our state constitution free of racist laws and language.
However, right after the voters of the state changed the state constitution, the governor and the Department of Corrections really doubled down on the punishment for refusing to work.
So the people closed the loophole and then the governor went around to open it up again, basically.
Yeah, that's right.
Governor Kay Ivey's executive order made encouraging or causing a work stoppage a high-level violation on the same level as possession of a weapon, drug possession, and bribery. The order also cracked down on correctional incentive time, better known as
good time.
In some prison systems, good behavior is rewarded with what's known as good time. People can earn sentence reductions and get released from prison early.
And the state legislature even changed its good time law to increase that form of punishment for folks who refuse to work.
We're simply changing the amount of
correctional incentive time or good time days that are offered.
Are we increasing or are we lowering it?
We are lowering them.
All of this was done on the heels of this constitutional change, and frankly, it's a brazen ignoring of the will of the voters of the state, and that's what our lawsuit is about. And so many people want to work, but they want to be paid fairly. They want to be paid a free world wage for the labor they're doing. They want to be working in safe conditions. They want to be treated fairly. And they don't want to be forced to work if they don't want to, or they can't because they're sick, or they have a doctor's appointment, or they're feeling unsafe in their work and they want to change jobs.
One of the unique things about this state, and really the country, is that things just never end, they evolve. If your prison system is full, it's primarily full of black folks, black men, and you have a racial disparity in who gets released and who doesn't. Can you imagine the optics of what that labor force looks like?
Black people account for just over a quarter of Alabama's total population, but more than 50% of the prison population. An AL.com investigation found that black men were 25% less likely to get parole than white men.
If you could take a picture of a group of men who are working convict labor decades ago and juxtapose that next to a current labor force, it would probably look the same. That's crazy.
So, what is the point of prison? Is it the creation of a cheap, controllable, and confined labor source? Or is it rehabilitation? And what does a real commitment to rehabilitation for incarcerated people actually look like?
I wish they'd strip that name off of that Alabama Department of Correction. I wish they'll take correction out of that and just say Alabama Department, because ain't no correction. Ain't no correction, ain't no structure, ain't no discipline. You discipline me to do what you want me to do, not the law. Not to come back in society and be able to live off of what you taught me. That's not what's going on. If I lived off what DOC taught me, I'd still be a criminal. Because they want that paycheck. They want me to come back in tomorrow. They want me to. Because they money keep flowing. It's no correction. We need to start correcting. We need to start loving. We need to start teaching.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this one. And if there's a story that you want us to cover next, please put it in the comments.
Now, you all have heard that. And let me get to my brothers, because I know they probably got something to say about what they just heard. Brother Seymour, did you know this was going on?
Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear, brother. We got you.
Yeah, I saw this yesterday. I had heard about it, but I thought since the federal government was coming in, I did not follow back up on it. I heard about it about 4 years ago. And with so many things going off everywhere. See, this is the thing, is that so many things happen. Distractions will get you off of the main course.
Yes, sir.
And we're so easily and much distracted by nonsense that the real things that matter, that entrap us, really, we don't have enough energy or time to focus on them. But yes, I did hear it yesterday. It was reaffirmed to me yesterday when I heard the same segment here, and I watched it. In fact, I was standing in my bathroom when I was just thumbing through, and I saw it, and I watched it into its entirety.
Yes, sir.
And I was very taken aback. But the system, just as I said, when I heard my father tell me of how they were treated and how they had to go to the back door just to get food, I said I wouldn't have taken this. Well, here it is in this modern day time now. We're taking some of the things that we don't even know that are happening, and we become seemingly immune to it, that we're not alarmed.
My God. Brother Rockman, you know I got to ask you, brother, as a brother who has experienced being incarcerated, what are your thoughts on what you just heard, brother?
Yes, sir, beloved. It's a flashback, brother. A hen. It's a horror of what we have been through in this system. That video touched my nerve with that.
I knew it would, brother. I knew it
Because
would.
when you're dealing with an enemy, brother, it takes $25,000 to $30,000 to house one inmate a year, but less than that to send you through college. Because they don't want to educate you. They want to keep you dumb, keep us reaching, keep us involved in criminal activity, but they can keep us under their grip. And therefore, they don't like any black man that is strong. And that's why every leader among men, they try to knock you down. Who is trying to stand up to stop this, what is going on? I've been there. So can't nobody tell me. Because prison's on the pipeline. It's on the stock market. And they're betting. And they're creating a circumstance, brother, to house us in the prison system. But I thank God. I thank Allah for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who opened my eyes to what was going on. I realized that I had been made a fool. I've been tricked, brother, in a system. And Carter G. Wilson said the miseducation of the Negro. See, when you're miseducated and you come out in the world, in this man's world, when you realize that it don't work. And he created an environment that you ain't nothing around but criminal activity. So what you gonna do? The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that we are a byproduct of the environment that we are placed in.
That's right, brother.
So
that is right.
It has gave me time to think, beloved. To think. I was like, wow, brother, as Brother Charles was saying earlier, these programs, the principle, like you said, Brother Shaheed, we ain't trying to make you no Muslim. Be what you want to be, but we talking about freedom, justice, and equality.
That's right.
Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding.
I knew that was going to touch a nerve with you, Brother Rock.
Saying, brother, my people are destroyed. My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. It's the knowledge that we are lacking. Because if you have the right knowledge, it can navigate you through the web of the enemy that you won't get caught in that pipeline.
That's right.
So, brother, we got to unite.
That's right.
We have to educate. Not what they teach us. That crap ain't no good. But the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan masterly, skillfully have the self-improvement. Oh, man. Brother, sisters, that is on this call. Oh, man. Let me tell you, when you go through that, from step 1 all the way to 20, man, when you really understand what the minister had given up on self-discipline, building the will, awakening the moral character and discipline, self-analysis, self-awakening, when you apply that in your daily life and move out in this world, ain't nothing that man can do that can hinder you because he's giving you the knowledge of God and the knowledge of self.
Praise be to Allah. Brother, I knew that was going to strike a nerve with you, brother. But, brother, you reminded me, you and Brother Charles, you know, because that's horrific, brother. This is not 18-something. This is not this is not 1910. This is not 1960 or 50. This is, if you listened at the dates, they talked about between 2022 and now, currently. The federal lawsuit is happening as we speak. And these legislators, and Alabama voted to close the loophole that's in the 13th Amendment. But what did the governor do? They went and made a rule in their prison system that sanctioned inmates for work stoppage. So if they put you in their work release program and you don't work according to the way that they want you to work, then they can sanction you and charge you with an offense that's on the level of having a weapon or committing an aggravated assault. Right. See, brother, you and see, oh my God. But this scripture comes to mind. And what you said, Brother Rockmine, in particular, you said they don't want to educate you. They want to keep you a fool. The Bible says in Isaiah chapter 42 at verse 22, listen at this carefully. The book says, but this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes.
That's right.
And they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none say, restore. Now, if that ain't a biblical picture of what, or the condition of black people today, then I don't know what is. We've been robbed of the knowledge of self. We have been spoiled into the life of our open enemy, where we are what the scriptures in Matthew call, I think the 22nd chapter, we are a proselyte or a convert of those who compass the sea to make a convert. And they have made us twofold a child of hell in themselves. So we're the number one destroyers of our own lives. So we're robbed, we're snared in holes by way of our ignorance, and we are most definitely hid in prison houses. And they are planning to hide in Lee County, as our brother Charles Moore just delineated to you. They are planning to hide some more. So that's why coming up in October, shout out to my brother, Big Brother Teddy Mack, with Growth and Development down there in Tupelo, Mississippi, to brothers like Maine C down there in Tupelo, to Yaga, and to all of those down there in Lee County that's standing up, trying to stem the tide of fratricidal conflict and violence going on amongst us, our young brothers and sisters that's out in the street, setting themselves up or falling victim to the trap that's been set, and they are going to spring it. So anybody that's going to talk to you, young brother and sister, about changing your behavior and stop looking at one another as the enemy and getting your little switches and your little guns that you think is real firepower, I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, you young ones that are listening, listen to me good, family. I've been telling our family this since I've been in law enforcement. You have not seen the real weaponry that this man gonna come with if you continue your foolishness with the little pop pistols that you think is heavy artillery. Yeah, it's heavy artillery for those in the consumer market. That's why they call it consumer. That's for the consumer. But the military grade stuff, that ain't on the street, man. The little AR-15s and them little Dracos that you go by, you think that's weaponry, brother, and it is. But it's only enough to make a nuisance to those who have the real guns. Because right now, mayors, city council people, members of the clergy in various cities around the country, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan warned us in the 90s, when all of those movies came out about colors and menace to society and how the music industry changed from the Supremes, and you had all these filthy names of female groups like B's with problems and H's with attitudes. See, it's resurfaced. They've re-hypersexualized the black woman.
That's right.
They've popularized criminal behavior and thug life and guns and drugs and illicit sex. So the stage has reset. They have reset the atmosphere that was prevailing prior to the Million Man March in 1995. So as the Honorable Louis Farrakhan told us what would happen if this continued, they're going to make our mothers who are sick of the violence call for the National Guard, and that is what's happening now. Is that what you're hearing, Brother Charles?
Yes, it is. Yes, sir, it totally is. Not to mention that the weaponry that these young men have, they have a weapon in the United States military that never fires a shot, that don't even use ammunition.
I know.
It's electronically based. All they have to do is flip a switch.
Yeah.
And it'll bust your eardrums and destroy your brain.
They ain't got to shoot you.
They ain't got to shoot you. So my point is, you're exactly right, my brother, is that where we are and what they released it for a purpose, but to have something greater. As long as you stay quarantined and kill yourself and your people,
they don't
don't let it bleed out into the next neighborhood that happens to be Caucasian, then you fine.
Yep. I know that for a fact, brother, with my personal experience. I know that to be true. So this is why, God willing, in the coming weeks, we're going to be coming your way, Brother Charles, be it the will of Allah, with the street tribes, man, talking about stopping the violence and stopping the killing. We want to have a real talk conversation. It's coming in October, and you will hear more about it, because I would like to use this platform to bring the voices from the street. And I think that's another thing that we need to highlight, dear brothers and sisters. There are voices in the street. There are brothers in the street that are just quiet. They ain't looking for no microphone or no camera or nothing. They just out there working. And I think we need to know who as many of them are as we can. So, and where we're working, we're going to give credit where credit is due for those young brothers and sisters that are out there at the street level, you know, on the concrete, as they say, you know, standing on business, doing what they can. They made their mistakes, but now their eyes have been opened, just like Brother Rockman said, his eyes were open. And he's one of those soldiers. And there are many, many others out there that we're going to be talking to about stopping the killing amongst ourselves. And not just stopping the killing, what can we do in a unified fashion to create opportunity for our young men? That's our responsibility. So, Brother Moore, what you're saying with regard to programs, we got to go and get our young brothers, and we have to put pressure on those who say that they represent us. Because in politics, and correct me if I'm wrong, Brother Charles, numbers talk in politics. Am I right, brother?
Numbers speak real loud.
So
yes,
we got to go get some numbers, and rest assured, there's going to be some opposition. Oh, yeah. Always is. Always has been. As soon as we reach a certain noise level, that's when the opposition going to come. And the opposition going to come in the form of a black person that's not informed and that's desperate, probably facing some criminal charges, probably is desperate for money, that they're going to send in amongst us who are engaged in a legitimate pursuit to stem the tide of violence and senseless loss of life among our people. They're going to send somebody in among us to make mischief and hopefully cause the shedding of blood. But check this out. There's a power with us today if we would stand up and quit being afraid.
Yes, sir.
Because that's our greatest enemy. Fear is the number one enemy that I have seen since I've been working in Mississippi. But I ain't never seen so many frightened brothers and sisters that, you know, this is my first time saying this publicly. I ain't never seen. I understand. Don't get me wrong. I understand why you would be frightened. Because, I mean, we are so disengaged as it relates to what's going on. And Brother Charles being here tonight and what he has said to us is evidence of that fact. Many of our people say, well, I might well just be quiet, because if I take it to my alderman, that ain't gonna get done. If I take it to the police, well, the police is the ones doing this to me. You know, brother, and I'm hearing rumblings of an officer who was recently in the news down in Mississippi, who was fired for his behavior is back in another police agency down in Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
And you think we finna sit quiet and not shine light on your behind?
Mm-hmm.
Not on this platform. And all the black community needs to know that these kind of people have been given authority to ride through our communities and terrorize us. So, y'all excuse my passion. You know, the time for fear and the time to be quiet when you see, you see evil, you know, but you don't speak up and say nothing. So we run the risk, our silence turns it into consent. And a life could be saved from death or from being ruined because nobody spoke up and knew that a wicked person was given public trust, and a trust that he was given in another agency he had betrayed more than once. So the question has to be, don't put pressure on him. It ain't his fault. He just filled out the application. My beef is going to be with who in the world hired him? Who didn't vet this man properly to ensure that they didn't put someone who would be a danger to the community in a position of authority to pull people over and stop them? So I apologize, brothers. Yo, this stuff is crazy, man. And I am not during my lifetime gonna sit here quiet because, well, somebody else could have said something. I'm not doing that. For those that have a problem with us speaking about it, we're gonna talk it loud and clear, and we're gonna make it known what's happening to our people and the dangers and the pitfalls that are lurking under the guise of serve and protect. No, we're not going to be quiet on that. So, brothers, look, man, we are beyond the time. I want to thank you, Brother Charles, once again for taking time out.
Yes, sir.
Brother, I certainly appreciate you taking time out and coming on again. And Brother Rahman, brother, thank you for riding shotgun with me tonight, my brother. Of course, you are invited, brother. Yes, sir, brother. I certainly thank you. But Brother Charles, please, brother, keep us informed of what's going on. And I got some more research to do and some phone calls to make regarding what I just talked about. I need to verify some things. And if that's happening, you all can rest assured within the coming weeks, we're going to do our research. We're going to get our receipts because we don't come to this platform without receipts. We're going to get our receipts. And we're going to come back and we're going to let you know whether it is altogether what we have heard. So, brothers and sisters, I don't want to close the program, just close it. We're going to bring you a cultural segment. What do you what say you, Brother Rahman? I think we should give them a cultural segment.
Go ahead, beloved.
Thank you for the invite. Thank you for the platform. And thank you for the work that you continue to do.
Yes, sir.
God's will to all of us, and God's peace is in us.
Yes, sir. Godspeed, Brother Simo, man. We'll be back in touch.
Yes, sir.
Brothers and sisters, we're going to bring you Hashim Hakeem. This one is called The Ghost of Emmett Till.
Religion as an excuse not to stand up and fight your natural enemy. And the only people on this earth, Brother Alton, the only people on this earth that use their religion and their so-called belief in God as an excuse not to stand up and confront their enemy is my people. Negroes are the only people I know that use it.
Ghost. I ain't dead. It's a pleasure to give my life just to live forever. He who weaponizes the blood of martyrs said, get your children ready for the slaughter. Blame the patriarchy, thank your fathers. But every racist devil had a racist mama. When strange fruit meets forbidden fruit, your hands up today, don't shoot. So say my name. Really can't afford this price of fame. Who knew the guy had a boomerang and he called it karma? She ain't never shied away from no drama. From 1555 to 1955, we watched it intensify. Some still believe the lies, cause niggas too scared to believe they eyes. My fear died in the Tallahatchie. Rose from the dead, can't catch me. Patron saint of the get back. Gave birth to the hit back. Graduated to the click clack. Black Panthers and the black Muslims, yeah, devil this that. Payback is a Karen with a pimp slap. You don't wanna miss that. Got the weight of the world on my back, devil lift that.
It is a will, there's a way, there's a way, there's a way. We finna
finish praying. Yeah. We taking names, taking over, we taking everything. Ain't no waiting, we enforcing the change.
This ain't back in the day. This is a message to the right folks. Black, brown, red, yellow, white folks. No mercy, yelling out, please. Can you smell the fried blood in the breeze? Comatose, but I still feel pain. Shotgun, hole in my brain. Whole lot of hatred, whole lot of rage over my dead body. These things gon' change. Y'all don't wanna teach history in school, cause our open enemy look just like you in the integrated classroom. How that look? But white folks killing blacks in the history books. Killing us then, kicking, choking the steel. Now insert the ghost of Emmett Till. For real? These devils are the same way today. Caught red-handed, but still get away.
Really? If it's a will, there's a way. There's a way, there's a way. We finna get it either way. We don't forgive when we finish praying. Yeah. We taking names, taking over, we taking everything. Ain't no waiting, we enforcing the change.
This ain't back in the day.
If there's a will, there's a way. There's a way, there's a way. We finna get it either way. We don't forgive when we finish praying. Yeah. We taking names, taking over, we taking everything. Ain't no waiting, we enforcing the change.
This ain't back in the day.
If there's a will, there's a way. There's a way, there's a way. We finna get it either way. We don't forgive when we finish praying. Yeah. We taking names, taking over, we taking everything. Ain't no waiting,
We enforcing the change, yeah.
Yes, that was my brother Hashim Hakeem with The Ghost of Emmett Till. Brothers and sisters, we're going to land the plane, and we certainly thank you for tuning in to this episode of the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. I'm going to leave you. In fact, let me unmute my brother so we can say it together. Myself and Brother Rahman Muhammad, we're going to leave you as we came before you with the greeting words of peace, and we say it together. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, sir.
Deep in the delta where the willows grow, in the soil stained by the blood of my ancestors. Punch bowl voices call out to my soul for justice. The wicked will reap what they've sown. Spirit of Aziz is back on the rise. Soldiers in the delta kept it alive. Time to stand up, take our place in the sun. Understand the time and what must be done.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. This is it. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip.
Gotta make a move and take control. Have something we can call our own. So shine your light, help the people see that now is the time for us to be free. And if you waiting on the pie in the sky, you better wake up fast. They told you a lie, cause big fields await the wide awake man. Elijah's got the master.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. This is it. 10K fearless on the move. This is it. Sip. Injustice, we've had enough. All of our divisions we're breaking up. Destiny has been calling us. The spirit of the Most High is guiding us.
See, the time is now. What you waiting on? Quit shooting your brothers. Put your gun down. Come on. They got a cage waiting for you if you keep that up. Early graves coming to you. From that, can't raise you up. Now, Sister Ida B and Fannie Lou, check them out and you'll know what to do. But if you really want your enemy to be alarmed, read the final call. Follow Farrakhan.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. This is it. 10K fearless on the move. This is it. Sip. 10K fearless on the move. 10K fearless. and fearless on the